What a great evening we have in store for you. What a great, great evening. Let me bring up some information here that I can look at. To begin with, let's start with a meditation, shall we? So I'd like for you to get comfortable. Get your feet flat on the floor and the bottom of your spine up against the back of your chair. And just nothing fancy, no lotus position or anything necessary. Just get in a position that's comfortable for you. And then I'd like for you to begin taking breaths, not deep breaths, but full breaths. And let your belly, pull it down into your belly and hold that breath. Breathe in through your nose. Hold that breath until it feels comfortable to let it out. And there's a really interesting place there. If you let it out too soon, you'll notice as you let it out, you feel a little bit of apprehension. If you hold it too long, when you let it out, you'll notice a little apprehension. If you get it just right, it feels so relaxed to just let it go. And then let it stay out until it feels comfortable to bring it back in through your nose, expanding your diaphragm. Let's just do that together. And as you breathe in that sweet, sweet breath, please know that you're breathing in grace, the breath of God. And when you exhale, that which is going out from you is your own individual, personal, sweet grace into the atmosphere around you, into the world around you, sending your blessings into the world. Gentle breathing in through your nose, holding it until it feels just right. And then just letting it go when it feels right. And breathing in and out in this gentle way. And while you're breathing, I'll invoke a prayer for us. Holy Spirit, great presence of life, you are everything. You are the trees on the far mountainside. You are the waves kissing the shore. You're the eagle hanging against the sky. You're the laughter in a 3-year-old child. You're the last breath of someone leaving this planet to go back into the beyond with you. You are the first cry of a newborn baby. Your love, your grace, your joy. We are gathered here tonight to seek higher levels of consciousness. Consciousness of you in our lives as wisdom, and joy. We will be guided tonight by the divinity of your love and your joy. Now, my classmates, you feel yourself in your body. All of those sensations, from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers to the top of your head, all of those sensations are your presence in the body. I'd like for you, if you will, to be conscious in your heart. Bring your awareness into your heart, a center of wisdom. Very much like the brain, the heart has neurons, 40,000 neurons, each with hundreds of synaptic gaps. With the wisdom of your heart, being pure love, and a direct connection of light to the great presence. Now let that consciousness that's in your heart come up into your head, still feeling it as love, as grace, as joy. And if you will, on the next exhalation, let it go out through the top of your head to a place about 6 inches above the top of your head, where the 8th chakra resides, the place we call your higher mind. And let your presence be there. And your consciousness be there in your higher mind. If any thought should come into your brain, just bring it up to your higher mind and it'll dissolve. Let yourself be in your higher mind and let the music that you're hearing be the music of the ages. The music of eternity. And if you will, see that as a river flowing over the top of your head, not through your ears, but into the ears of your higher mind. You're actually hearing in your higher mind. See the music over the top of your head. You are loved. You are blessed. You are safe. You are free. You are safe. No harm can come to you because you are nestled in the heart of creation, no less than the trees and stars and the rivers and the seas. You have a right to be here, and you are safe. And you are free. And your body there below you is completely well, is completely well. You are love. You are grace. You are peace. You are peace. In a little while, the music will fade away. And when it does, bring yourself back to the room with the rest of us. And when you come back, bring this self back. Bring this beautiful, sweet, kind, and innocent child that you are back to be with us. Welcome back, my dear friends. Welcome back. Beautiful meditation. You were so beautiful. You were so beautiful, and you still are so beautiful. So we're going to have a little discussion. As I said last week, now you become the trainers, you become the teachers. Now we start hearing from you what you've learned, and we learn from you by us hearing what you're learning. Does that make sense? We learn by hearing what you're learning. Because you're an individual, you're unique, you're different than the rest of us in so many ways. And the things that come to you come through different filters than they do for the others. And so we want to hear from you, because when we hear from you, we suddenly see reality and see ahas in a different way than we saw them before. So we're going to have a discussion, and I'll start in this way. What were the highlights for you in this chapter? Now, I know that in the past, because I know you, this class, I know you. I don't know whether you're just all bashful or shy, or you didn't get enough sleep, or what's going on, but I know you, and I know that there are like 3 or 4 of you that will share, and the rest of you will go hiding. And I just need to tell you that I'll call on you. So you might as well just put your hand up and share. What were the high points for you in chapter 4? And if you just go down to the bottom where it says reactions, you see that line on the bottom and it says reactions. If you'll just click that, then you'll see that there's a place where you can put your hand up, where it says raise hand right at the bottom, and you can just raise your hand. And when you do that, Janet will bring you right next to me and we can chat. So just go ahead and put your hand up now. I dare you. Yes, Donna.
Hello. Yeah, I was just thinking about the vision and remembering about 10 years ago that I worked with my sister, who's a Reiki master and who's also part of this group tonight, Nancy. And I put that vision board in my bathroom, and every day I looked at that, and I looked at all the things that I wanted in my life and how to get there. So I think I was about 63 at that time. So I had Freedom 65 in mind. And everything that I had on that board came true.
Yes, yes, yes. I love hearing that.
Yeah, it was absolutely magical. And, the power of intent and the power of you know, your intentions to draw what you need is so easy and so perfect. It's life-changing. And thank you, Nancy, for that gift.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy. And thank you, Don.
Maybe
Thank
Nancy
you.
can put her hand up and she can talk to that too.
I'm so happy that you stepped up. That's just what I wanted to hear. Because the truth is that you will get what you focus on. I promise you. Like if you're driving down the highway at night and your headlights are showing the highway, guess what happens when your headlights are showing you the rocks and the brush and the trees? That's not what you want. Well, your headlights are your intention and your attention in this life. And when your attention and your intention in this life are focused in a certain direction, that's where you go. So you will get what you focus on. So focus on what you want. That's vision. Thank you. Thank you.
So
Next.
we have Nancy next.
Nancy. Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah, surprise. Dawn and I have shared many wonderful sister moments and times together that we've done a lot of reflecting and a lot of support for each other. And the two of us I'm the youngest and she's the second youngest of 11 children. A bond like no other. And it's just, as she said, when you set your mind to it and you set a goal and you can taste it. It's just like, you're gonna, when you're making a cup of tea, while you're making it, oh, it's gonna taste so good. You're already there. You've mastered the taste of it and you're already there. So you might as well just go to your chair and enjoy it,
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you learn that by being one of 11 children?
I was very loved as a child. I love all my family. Yeah, I guess we did learn it. My mom was just a great mentor, and I don't know why this brought tears to my eyes. She's just She was just so full of love. She never said a bad word about anything. And she just said, "Oh dear, take these wonderful flowers to Mrs. So-and-so up the street." And I was so little, I can remember carrying this big armload of flowers. And Mrs. So-and-so, "Oh dear, thank you," and she'd invite me in for those little McVitie's biscuits, and
Yeah.
but I mean, my whole life has been very, very blessed. I'm so blessed with this, and through my life. I'm 70, almost 71 now, and I've been through a lot of stuff, and that I've had the support of my family and friends, and know where I'm going, and I've got my goals so far. I'm very happy, at peace.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks.
Next,
Bob, I want to tell a story.
please do.
Of a very dear friend in Unity here. His name is Baptiste Pap, and Baptiste has been to our center many times to speak. He did a movie called The Power of the Heart, and he did a book called The Power of the Heart. He was a lawyer who one day had an experience that came to him and said, "You've got to make a movie called The Power of the Heart." So the first thing he did was he created a vision board. And on that vision board, he put all of the people that were going to be in that movie. That's the only thing he put on his vision board, because he said it was the people and relationships that were going to assist him in getting this happen. So he had Desmond Tutu, Jane Goodall, Maya Angelou, Eckhart Tolle, Gary Zukov, the Heart Math people. He just put their pictures on this board. And guess what happened? They all said yes. 200 of them around the world, heart ambassadors, and it came from one vision board and manifesting what he was to do in his life. And so I just wanted to say that because it was so perfect in this chapter, that it is true that you can ask and you can manifest anything.
Yes. Yes. And let me just jump in for a minute and say something relative to that. And that's that we often don't get what we want. How can I say this, that it's absolutely right? Let me back up for a minute. We always get what we want. Let me say it that way. We always get what we want. We're just not always willing to admit what we want. So if I say what I want is a relationship with this kind of person, and that's what I want. But what I really want is to want that. Does that make sense? What I really want is to want that, because that's safe. I can want that relationship and I don't have to change. I don't have to do anything. I can just want to want it. If I truly want it, then that means I have to leave this to get to this. I can't get there unless I leave here. And a lot of times I don't want to leave here. So this, I say, is my vision. It's really just a wanting to want. I'm just shining the light on the screen and watching some figures play on the screen, but I'm not really going to be a part of the play. So we have to be careful about that, because as you see in the triangle, to get what you want, you have to change. Have to change. You can't get from here to there without leaving here. Next hand. No? Nobody? Oh.
Richard Robertson.
Oh, Rick. This is Rick. We call this guy Rick. I know it says Richard there, but this is Rick. This is my brother.
I have to jump in here, Reverend Bob. And you ask us what we found or what we discovered about chapter 4. And when I got out of it, everybody, we've heard over and over, everybody's got choices and choices have consequences. And all right, that's right. But what I really like out of your teachings in this chapter 4 is you break that down from this sort of a vague, broad what are your choices to when you're here, this is the choice that faces you. You can do this, you can do that. This leads to this line of stuff. And if you choose this, it leads to a different line of responses. And depending on where you are in a triangle, where you are in your life, where I am in my navigating through life, I when I'm in different places, I've got different choices, and from different points of the triangle, the consequences of the choices are different. So, I mean, I've spent my whole life being something of an analyst, and I like to analyze issues. And this triangle, I find, so nicely encapsulates the different aspects of life and what are my choices and where might those lead. So I, I mean, as you know, as the people know, this is not my first rodeo here, but I as I'm reading it over as if it were the first time, I would just really knocked back by the simplicity and the clarity of those choices. So I thank you for that.
I'm deeply honored to hear you say that, Rick. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Next.
We've got Donna up again.
Okay.
I found a quote that really spoke to me. One of my goals right now is to get physically fit, and it's going to take a lot of work. And I haven't been doing the things that I need to do. I need to get up out of my chair, away from the TV, more and all those things. And this was a Khalil Gibran picture. It is said that before entering the sea, the river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled from the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road across the forest of villages. And in the front of her, she sees the ocean so vast that to enter, there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean. And that really spoke to me about just go with the flow, That's basically just go with the flow, do what you do, and don't be afraid.
Thank you. Thank you, Donna. And we are each a river, are we not? We are each a river from a tiny spring somewhere high in the mountains, bubbling out of a rock and slowly gathering more and more water as we move down the mountainside, gathering melt off from the snows, and then some rains, and then joining with another and another and another until finally we become a river, and our destiny is the sea. Our destiny is the sea. And on our way to the sea, we're going to encounter, as I've said in the book, you're going to encounter mountains, and you're going to run up against those big barricades, those big blockades, and you're either going to go around them or you're going to let them stop you. And if you let them stop you, you're no longer a river. Then you're a lake. And it's okay to be a lake for a while, but your destiny is the sea. So I guess a lake is in fact a small sea. So maybe that was as far as you were going. But some of us are going all the way to the big C. And in order to do that, you have to be able to surrender and accept each step along the way. Accept and surrender to each step along the way. Good evening, Sally.
Hey,
You're muted, dear.
sorry.
There you are.
Hi. This is my first night in the group. Last week,
Welcome.
yeah, it's nice to be here. Last week I was late, and so I tuned in on YouTube. But I have only read up to the end of chapter 3, and I'm still getting used to the triangle. It's a little bit overwhelming at first for me, but I think as I get used to it and more familiar with it, it'll become clearer. And I think for me, because in the earlier chapters, you talked about, when you were talking about be, do, and have, and you had the 3 people that you used to illustrate each one of those places. So I'm the Larry, that's the beer, that I just I get stuck in that kind of a place of, doing the meditation, doing all the things, but not enough doing. And I kind of realized, I was thinking about it today, and it's a little bit of a struggle for me to come up with a vision. And I think I just have to pick something small. And I'm kind of a linear minded person. I can't really multitask. And I think I just need to pick something small and give all my focus to that as my first go around the triangle.
Thank you for saying that. It's absolutely right. And I want all of you to hear this now, not just Sally. If you don't win, the win is at the bottom of the risk line, the bottom of the courage line. That's down there where it's have, be, do, have. That's the have corner. If you don't win, the triangle is of no value to you. If you decide that this is my vision and this is my mission and this is who's on my support team and here's my next step, and then I can't make it because it's too big and I fall apart and I'm disappointed because I didn't accomplish it, then the triangle is useless to you. You might as well just go have a beer. You have to be able to win every time, which means you must only take the sizes of risks and the sizes of visions that you can accomplish. Now, I don't mean the same ones that you accomplished an hour ago or last week. I mean new ones that challenge you, ones that pull you forward, but not ones that are beyond you. Make the first ones, as Sally just said, make the first ones small and make them easy so that you learn the path. You learn the path, how the path goes. I'm going to show you something and then we'll come back. And I want to hear from a lot more sharings, but I'm going to just show you some things here. So here's the triangle. And I heard Sally say that it's a little confusing and it's a little, maybe not confusing, but a little bit overwhelming at first. This is the triangle. Look how easy it is. That's the triangle. If I move from be to do, I gain clarity. Isn't that right? In order for me to go from be to do, I have to become clear, don't I? So I gain clarity on going from be to do. From be to go from do to have, that means I have to accomplish something. In order to do that, I have to gain courage, and I will gain courage, and it will be a permanent asset in my life if I win. And that's here at have. I have to win, or the rest of this means nothing. I have to win. I have to get the have. Be, do, have. What I have is not some emerald or some chunk of gold that I dug out of the ground. What I have is a greater sense of myself. This whole triangle, the entire triangle, is about personal growth. Every step of this triangle is about personal growth. It's not about getting rich. It's not about having better relationships. It's not about healing your body. It's not about anything like that, except that all of those things will come to you because you'll become a miracle worker. You'll become a creator as you grow. As you grow. So over here at B, you gain clarity. From do to have, you gain courage, and from have over to be, self-confidence. Confidence. So that by the time you come back to B again, you're a different person than you were. We're going to look at something else here. So these are choices that I make every day. When I go from be to have or to do, I want to go from be to do. I go through that process of building clarity, and it's discovery. And I have to make that choice. And I either can go into discovery or into avoidance, into risk or into anxiety, into self-love or into guilt and shame. Let me show you what that looks like, and we'll come right back to this slide. So here I am at B, at rest. And the mantra here, or the direction here, is to be still and know who you are. Now, be still and know who you are. What does that mean? It means be still and know yourself. Not yourself as a man or a woman or a boy or a girl or a doctor or a lawyer or a school teacher or a wife or a husband or a daughter. It's none of that stuff. Who you are eternally as a being. Know yourself. Know who you are. You can't understand it. See, here's the interesting thing, and you think this triangle is not deep, but look how deep this is. You can't understand who you are because this is not a mental thing. You have to know who you are. That's in your heart. Understanding is in the brain. Knowing is in the heart. You know who you are. When you see a kitten chasing a ball of yarn, do you laugh? Who laughed? Your brain? Who laughed? When you hold a little baby and she puts her little face or her little head up against your neck right here, and you get that feeling clear through your body, who got that feeling clear through their body? Your brain? It's you. It's the you that we're talking about. Be still and know who you are. When you hear somebody on a cello playing the Swan, or on a violin playing meditation from Thais, what happens to you? You go into this amazing place. Who goes into that amazing place? Your brain? Who goes into that amazing place is you, the eternal being. So be still and know who you are. This is be. And rest is a short word for restoration. And so I go from here up to do, and I gain clarity in that process. And up here, I do. That means I change. I dare to grow, because I can't do, because if I already had done this, I wouldn't be taking this trip. I'm going to do something different, something greater, something more, something bigger, something more risky than I've done before. And I dare to grow. And I take the passage from courage down to win. And in the doing of that, I gain courage. I gain courage. And then if I accept my win, if I'm humble enough to say, I did it, I'm not going to judge it. It was not good enough. I'm not judging it. What I did is I set out on this path and I came all the way to here and I did that. And so I won, and I'm going to accept my win and accept myself as a winner. Then I go across and have self-confidence, and I come back to B, and I'm in a higher place than I was before, because when you left B, you were at this level. And when you came back to B, you were at this level. And the next time to come back to B, you're at this level. And it keeps growing and growing, and you keep expanding. And the purpose of the triangle is spiritual growth, which means that your life works better. Your relationships, your health, your wealth, your spirituality, your creativity, your career, all of those things work better because you're growing. And this is a spiritual growth format and template. So now I want to go back to sharing, but I wanted to just throw that at you to let you know that we are on a path of spiritual growth here. And I don't want you to think like, well, spirit's here and body and mind is here. No. Spirit is here and body and mind is inside of that. We're going outside of body and mind into the real world, into the real cosmos of spiritual oneness. We have never been born. We will never die. We have been forever. We will be forever. The farthest reaches, in the farthest reaches of the cosmos, beyond the farthest planet or star or galaxy, beyond the farthest of those, if there is a farthest of those. And all of the time from eternity and back and eternity forward, all of that is right now, right here on the head of a pin. It's all right here. It's not somewhere else. It's not someplace else. It's not some other time. It's all right here, right now. And you and I have an opportunity by knowing who we are and then expanding that as we go around the triangle. We have a chance to grow into oneness with who we truly are. Cool, huh? Thank you. Sue. There you go.
Thank you, Bob. You can hear me now.
Yeah.
Good. Before I mention something, my lovely little invention to help me do one of your exercises in chapter 3, I just want to repeat that it is chapter 3. There were some folks in the chat room that thought we were on 4. That was, I think, a slip of the tongue earlier. So chapter 3 is what you assigned us last week. And I have to admit, I have not intensely finished chapter 3. I've got about approximately halfway through, and then I skimmed the rest. I'm coming back to it because this is especially important to me right at the beginning, this thing about finding the vision. And it may have been something that you said last week, but I wanted to say it helped me a lot. There's, I think, just one sentence in there when you give us some exercises, and one of the sentences is about when you sit and you sit still and you're in that B place, that resting place, to be aware of not that the vision is going to be something huge and unachievable. You did say something about making it, I'm going to say, take it in bite-sized pieces. And so I especially appreciate that, because if anything, that's probably the most challenging part of the triangle for me and the type of character that I am. The other thing is the 2 exercises. First, you had 1 and 2, and 1 is give yourself 15 minutes every morning. And I went, thank you, Bob. It's like telling me to have a little luxury, a little treat for 15 minutes. So it substantiates that I should do that. And the other part was about writing down every morning for 30 days, but not looking at what you wrote the previous day. So I thought, okay, what am I going to do? Have 30 slips of paper or index cards? That doesn't work for me. So what I did was I didn't have foolscap, but I had an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And at the top, I wrote out what is the one thing I must be, do, or have before I die. And I'm of a vintage that it doesn't bother me if you talk about me dying, because it's a fact of living. I that doesn't bother me. So I wrote that down. And then I wrote down those 8 different fields that you gave us, relationship, etc. And then so that's at the top. And then I folded the piece of paper like an accordion, so that this morning I wrote down on the first word that came to me when I woke up, as you instructed, and I wrote that down. And then I took that little piece of the accordion and clipped it together. So I'm not going to see, I don't have to worry about being influenced tomorrow by what I wrote today. These are little games I have to play with myself to make sure that I'm absolutely authentic and genuine. So that's my little thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what I do is I have a little notebook, and what I do is I write down what I want to do, be, or have before I die. And then I flip that paper over, and I counted it out ahead of time. And I know that there are 30 pieces of paper. So when I flip the last paper over, I know I've done it. Then what I do is tear all of them out of the book, and I lay them all out on the floor from 1 to 30. And then I just walk along with my cup of tea and read them. And as I read them, as I look at them, I see that there's a pattern that I otherwise hadn't seen. I kept kind of repeating the same thing over and over again in a very almost unconscious way, that I didn't really see that I was doing that. And then I get a new realization about myself. My dear friends, this class, I love this class so much, and I am so thrilled that you're taking this class with me. And I said this last week, and I probably will make him so unconscious he may never come back. But I'm really triply thrilled that Rick Robertson is here, because Rick Robertson has been my teacher for 40 years. So, now he's here taking my class. So that's wonderful. Anyway, I have room for one more, and then we're going to go to a breakout room.
We've got Jennifer up.
I have a little joke to make. I was a victim, I'm using the word victim, of being interviewed by someone in the group over dinner at the Sylvia Hotel about my life. But anyway, I want to share that in a moment. I never thought I was good at art, and an experience came to me where I'd be able to do art classes online. And this is the picture that I was supposed to do. It's my first ever painting. I'm more musical than I was so frustrated that I can't put my feelings on canvas. So
I think there's a lot of feeling in that canvas.
look at the sunset.
It's beautiful.
It seriously is my first ever. I play keyboard, everything, but now the hot air balloon is supposed to be a little rounder, said an art person, but the eagle, I had to copy what someone else did, but I put the eagle in myself.
It's a beautiful eagle. And the trees are beautiful. You did a good job for a first, that is real. I wished my first picture looked like that. I'd have been pretty excited.
Well, listen, so yeah, the thing is, a friend who is a gemologist, a jewelry maker, he started to point out the criticisms of the painting. And then I said from my heart, oh, this isn't about ego. This is about love and what's coming out of my soul. Okay, now I accepted an invitation from my dear friend Mary Lynn, who I haven't seen for 20, well, I thought it was 25 years. She said it was 28 years. So we met with another friend of mine at the Sylvia Hotel. And I have to say, she did a really good job of interviewing me about my life. But I realized I was a little bit, dumbfounded would be the word. I'm not living my life to full potential. But I did do one courageous thing this week, which was to do the painting after a hike.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I really love it, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sharing. Listen, it's 25 after. Usually we go to our breakout rooms earlier than this, but we just get carried away with joy and who knows. So we're going to have 5, 10, 15, 20. We're going to have 25 minutes. Janet will bring them back at 10 till. Okay? So go to your breakout rooms. Oh, and I want to just mention something while Janet's getting you ready for your breakout rooms. There are going to be leaders in your rooms. They're not going to be telling you what to do and what not to do. They're just going to be guiding you gently to keep you on purpose with the plan for tonight. Because we've got to stay on purpose. And these leaders that I'm talking about, they've been trained. They're top of the line. So go to your breakout rooms now, and I'll see you in 25 minutes.
And Bob, these are individuals who are the facilitators in our wisdom circles. So
Yes.
the wisdom circle facilitators and a couple of our board members as well. So we're taking you now into your breakout rooms.
And if you're in Rick Robertson's room, hang on. What I want you to do in this next week is I want you to apply. You're gonna read chapter 4, and there's gonna be 4 secrets in that chapter. I want you to know what they are, and I want you to apply one of those secrets to your life this next week. And then when you come back, I want you to be able to tell us about that. Now, tonight we talked about a pretty basic part of the triangle. But the triangle gets a lot deeper from here on and a lot easier. Because I said that you're going to go from be to do, and that's going to take you through a path of clarity. Now you're going to get a chance to see exactly how that path works. So make sure that you go to the link that you have for the triangle and look at those steps, especially between be and do, those steps, because we're going to talk a lot about those steps and what they mean.